Welcome to another video by Techie Mama, your best source for tutorials on WordPress and mompreneur tech. Save hours of research that goes nowhere. Learn at your own pace on your own time. Celebrate your wins faster with more results. Apply your new knowledge immediately. If you like this video, subscribe to YouTube and get notifications, and connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. All right. Hello. Today we have Amira, who is an amazing lawyer and blogger. She is out to educate and to help us be legal with all of our pages, all of our websites, our blogs, and our businesses. And so, welcome, Amira. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, just a little background information, and we'll get started.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. First of all, I'm so excited to be here. So a little bit about me. I am a business lawyer. I work full-time as a lawyer, and I started my online business, my blog, while working full-time. So one day I just stumbled upon a YouTube video of six-figure bloggers, and I was intrigued. I was like, oh my God, people actually make money from blogs. So very next day, I started to pursue blogging because I figured I was already helping so many business owners and entrepreneurs for like 10 years now as a lawyer, protecting their businesses, whether brick and mortar businesses, even online entrepreneurs. So I figured I can take all of that knowledge and all of those skills into the online world and help a lot more people. Because, when you are online, your reach is so much bigger than just one-on-one client. So I was already doing that, helping entrepreneurs, but then the online world presented as a better opportunity to kind of like help more people. And I saw that so many bloggers and coaches and freelancers, doesn't matter what kind of business you have, people always struggle when it comes to the legal side. Am I right?
So, yes.
So there isn't, and the other thing I found was that even though, there's a lot of information out there, but it's still a lot to go through. It's complicated, it's confusing, and people want easy, fast solutions, right? And you don't want to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to try to get legal protection. So one of the things that I did very early on is created my own legal templates to help people out, which are really affordable and also very fast. So that's the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
So what are the most important legal pages that every website should have?
That's a great question. So every single website should have like 3 main legal pages, and they're all for different reasons. So the first one is called a privacy policy. Do you want me to kind of give a brief overview as to what?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. So a privacy policy is like a legal document on your website, which is legally required. So I want to make it very clear, because a lot of people assume like, oh, I don't need a privacy policy or whatever, but you are legally required to have one. So that's the first legal page. It basically tells your website visitors or your customers that what information you're collecting from them and how are you going to use it. Because think about it. I come to your website, I give you my name, my email, or even if I don't do any of that, I still visit your website. You're collecting my IP address, you're collecting some data from me.
Right.
Now, I have a legal right to know what are you going to do with that information, and how are you going to use it? Because it identifies me, especially if I'm giving you my name and email and things like that. So that's why it's lawfully, required. And then the second legal page you need is what's called a disclaimer. So a disclaimer also includes your affiliate disclosures. Like under the Federal Trade Commission, you are legally required to give disclosures if you're using affiliate links. So affiliate links, for those of you who don't know, is a way to make money. Affiliate marketing is when you promote other people's products. So let's say I love your product and I want to promote it, and I put put my affiliate link. I'm going to get a commission if someone purchases through my link. But now I'm legally required to also disclose to the people that are reading and purchasing, and that, hey, this is an affiliate link. I'm going to earn a small commission and no extra cost to you, things like that. So that's what's called affiliate disclosure. And your disclaimer page needs to outline all of that stuff, plus give a disclaimer, because even though you're promoting someone else's products, I'm sure you don't want to be legally held responsible for it, right?
Right, exactly.
Your product. So once they land on your site, they go to someone else's website, you want to disclaim liability. You want to make it clear that, hey, now you're off of my website, you're bound by this other person's privacy policy, terms and conditions.
Right.
So that's why this page is so important, because not only you're satisfying the legal requirement, right? Under the Federal Trade Commission, and by the way, they audit and they fine people for not complying. So the second thing is that you're also limiting your liability, your legal liability for the content that you publish. So you're giving, you're doing a public service, you're helping people out with all kinds of information on your website. But what if that information can be used against you?
Right.
People can rely on it and be like, oh, I so-and-so said that and I acted on it and now I suffered a side effect or a bad effect. Now I want to come after you for, damages. So that's what that disclaimer page does. So I hope it's clear, like, why it's so important. And I know a lot of people
it is.
That.
And I can think, I do a lot of tools for WordPress I'm a affiliate for, but what if it's not quite the right fit, or you have a website that isn't going to work with a particular host? I want to be protected because, okay, I'm, recommending X host, but I'm not an employee there. I'm not the owner of it. So I don't have control if they go down, or the website goes down, or you get hacked, or, there's just so many different things that can happen.
Go wrong. And unfortunately, as a lawyer, I know how easy it is to file lawsuits. So you just got to protect yourself. And so so going back to the third legal page now, which is called a terms and conditions page. It's also known as terms of service, terms of purchase, terms of use. They're all different names kind of referring to the same thing. So the purpose of this page is, and this is a very important page, which people always overlook based on my experience, is this one really outlines your website rules, and also tells people what they can and cannot do with your information, like, that they can't copy your stuff. It has your copyright provisions in there. So you're letting people know, hey, don't steal my content, and you can't do this, you can't do that. So it outlines all of those things, this page. And more importantly, let's say you're selling any products, right? You want to have your refund policies, your exchange policies, or, any kind of other things you want people to be aware of, that what they can and cannot do with your product. You outline that in this page. And this way you avoid customer disputes, because things happen all the time. People ask for refunds, or people are not happy with something. And at least with this page, they're very clear about what are your policies, what they can expect, and you protect yourself legally with that page. So that's why all three are like important, as I mentioned, for different reasons.
Right, exactly, for sure. So do you need any different ones if you're a blog versus if you're a business, like a service-based business? You talked a little bit about if you have products, you want to outline your return policy and stuff like that. Do you need other ones if you're service-based in business? Like, I freelance sometimes, and do I need something saying that I'm going to complete X, Y, and Z, and my client is not going to go disappear and not pay me?
So now we're talking contracts. So before we were talking 3 legal pages. These are the pages you actually put on your website, right? Like the footer section, privacy policy, disclaimer, and then the third one, terms and conditions. That's why they call website legal pages. Now, what you're asking is very important, is what you're asking for is a contract, right? So anytime you're providing services, Like I'm a coach, I provide coaching services, and and I hire freelancers, and you're a freelancer, so you're providing freelance services. So anytime you do that, depending on the kind of service you're providing, you're going to need a legal contract. So in order to ensure payment on time from your clients and to be able to even terminate the relationship without getting things going ugly, you're going to need a contract, which is called a freelance contract in your case. So it's also called an independent contractor agreement. Again, they're both the same names for referring to the same contract, but essentially that's the contract you're going to want to have electronically signed. You want to have a system where your clients can accept it before they sign up for your services and before you start doing the work. And it outlines so many other important things like, okay, you're the freelancer, you're creating something for them, whatever it is. It could be a graphic, it could be writing a blog post, whatever, You're at the end of the day want to transfer the copyright right to those things to the client, or you want to keep it, whatever it is. So this is why this agreement kind of allows you to figure that out and gives you both options. So yeah. And then like if you're a coach, as I mentioned, then you're going to need a coaching agreement, So different agreements are going to be needed, contracts, depending on what is it that you're offering. If you're a designer, you're going to need like a specific contract to designing, a design agreement. So, but the good thing about the freelance contract is, and which I also sell, is that it's very versatile, right? Like you can offer so many different kinds of freelance services. You could be a writer, you could be a designer, you could be, auditor or whatever. You can kind of use this agreement, tweak it, add the services, and it's something that you can use with a lot of different things.
A lot of different things. Yeah, there's a lot of virtual assistants out there as well that would match with. Yeah,
exactly. Instead of getting like different agreements, you get one agreement and you can just tweak it. All you're doing is changing the services part of it, and the rest of the agreement still still works.
Cool. Even for coaching, I do some coaching, but it's because I work with clients, but I don't just do the website for them. I kind of show them how to do it, because I work with a lot of mompreneurs that want to do it themselves, but they got stuck or something like that. So I'll show them how to do it. So I kind of count it as coaching, but I think just probably the freelancer would work just to kind of outline the different things.
Yeah, the coaching agreement that I have is it works for, one-on-one coaching or group coaching. The key difference between the two is, like, as a coach, you have a little more liability because you're advising people, right? You're giving recommendations, and it goes back to that thing we talked about, disclaimer. Like, you don't want to be legally held responsible for your advice, because as a coach, they're trusting you, they're relying on your information. They are thinking you're the expert in a way, So the coaching agreement that I sell is very detailed in that sense to protect you from liability. It has a coaching disclaimer. It has a very specific section on what are your responsibilities as a coach, and then what are the client's responsibilities. You know what I mean? So this way both have clear understanding of what is expected, and so that the client is not coming after you later on and be like, So that's where they're different. But if you're doing more of freelancing, then yes, I would agree with you that the freelance one would work better for you.
That's interesting. I might look at the coaching one, because I do see myself as more just recommending and showing than actually doing, and at least that's what I want to be doing.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's a lot easier for you too, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I love teaching. That's my passion, along with technology.
Oh, me too. I was a teacher, so I can relate. Yeah.
Well, what did you teach?
I was a high school teacher, so I was teaching English, biology. Yeah, I was actually a pre-med. I was going to become a doctor, and then boom, turned around and became a So teaching is also my passion, something I truly, truly love.
Yeah, I do too. I am ABD in learning technologies. So I almost got my PhD, but then I had my oldest, and it was just too much to try and but I have all the coursework, and I do want to go back, but I just absolutely love it. I taught pre-service teachers how to use technology in their classrooms, all levels. So kinder to high school, and kind of finding resources, finding ways to integrate. And that's so important during this time, because now suddenly we're all online for education.
Everything, it's like so essential. So you're providing like a great service, because there's definitely a lot of people struggle with technology, So
it's a crazy thing. So let's say I'm just doing a hobby blog. I'm just kind of writing about myself. It's kind of like a journal that I'm putting out there. Do I still need a legal page? It's a lot of money for, me just getting started and wanting just to kind of experiment with a blog.
Yeah, no, this is such a common question. I see it all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we're talking about it. So there's a lot of misconception out there where people believe, or I don't know, information floating around from non-lawyers, telling people, hey, if you have a hobby blog, you don't need legal pages. But that's incorrect, because just because you have a hobby blog, it doesn't preclude you from following the law. Like, you don't get some exception,
Right.
If that was the case, it would be like we would just have all these, rules we could break.
Right.
But that's not the case. The law still applies to you, because, as I mentioned, a privacy policy is legally required. Just because you have a hobby blog and you're not necessarily collecting people's name or email addresses, and you're not building an email list, you are still collecting information from Google Analytics, from other ways. And so, in other words, it goes back to that same concept that you're collecting data from people and they need to know what you're collecting. So the privacy policy is absolutely, absolutely needed. And the other thing is that the disclaimer and the terms and conditions. So you may not need a disclaimer if you're not using affiliate links, but the thing about the disclaimer is, what I want to mention, it's not just affiliate links, right? As I previously said, you're also disclaiming liability for whatever you're publishing. So you could be publishing a diary, you could be publishing whatever, you still don't want that information to be construed as advice. Right. You want to make it clear that, hey, this is informational, this is educational, these are my opinions or my experience. That doesn't have to, please always consult a professional. So even though you may think like, oh, I am a hobby blogger, I'm not necessarily making money, but you don't want to be still legally held responsible for anything you publish. At the end of the day, you're still putting information out there. So you would want the disclaimer regardless, So so that's why all of these legal pages are still very important. And I get it that, the cost and all of that, but honestly, anything, to me, blogging is like still the most cost-effective way of starting a business. Considering having a brick and mortar business, you're paying rent, you have employees, you have lights to pay, you have electricity, you have water, and you're just bypassing all of that with blogging. Right. So I look at it like legal pages are a very small investment that you're, making to protect yourself, your family, because if you get sued tomorrow, you're going to pay a lot more.
Right, exactly.
And I know, because my dad got sued as an entrepreneur.
Wow.
And it was before I became a lawyer. But my point is that it turned our entire life upside down, so I know all about it. And plus seeing clients over the years making the same mistakes, not having legal documents. Right. That's the mistake my dad made. He didn't have a legal contract. So he got sued. And my point is, it's very costly. It was like $90,000 lawsuit, so you're going to pay a lot more if things are going to go south. So why take it? Why not do things right to begin with,
Begin with, for sure. What about GDPR? That's for the EU, right? Do Americans have to worry about that?
Yeah. So another great question. You're asking all the right questions today. GDPR applies to you regardless of where you are. If you have people from the European Union, EU, visiting your website, which I'm pretty sure you do, because your website is global, right? And so GDPR is European Union's, data protection law. So you are legally required to make sure that your website is GDPR compliant, because if you have people from the EU there are certain rules and regulations that you need to abide by. Otherwise, there's serious GDPR non-compliance fines. I mean, I'm talking millions of dollars, and so it's not even worth the risk. Doesn't matter if you're in the US, doesn't matter you're outside of the US. If you have people from the EU visiting, you're going to need to comply. And a couple of ways to do that is through your email marketing. You want to make sure that, the opt-in forms are GDPR compliant. And then the second way you do that is through the privacy policy on your website. Because of GDPR, you need to give people clear, information on how they can opt in, how they can unsubscribe and things like that. So, and then plus people from the GDPR have certain legal rights that you need to outline in your privacy policy to make it very clear to them that, this is what we're doing and these are your rights to people from the EU. So in the end, you want to make sure that your privacy policy is GDPR compliant. Otherwise, your website is not, GDPR compliant if you don't have it.
Right. And the US is adopting some laws like GDPR as well, right?
Yeah. So recently, like in January of this year, CCPA, you may have heard about it, the California Consumer Protection Law. So that one is very similar to the GDPR, but like you said, yes. So it also basically put more requirements on people. Now people from California have certain rights, and so you not only need to make your website GDPR compliant, but you also need to make your website CCPA compliant now. So
alphabet soup.
That's the thing with laws, right? They're always changing and there are always new information, and you never know tomorrow another state could implement a similar law, and it's very possible because that's what usually happens. One state passes the law and the others follow. So so that's what you need to do with CCPA as well. It has different requirements, and same thing, your privacy policy needs a section on people now from California visiting your website, like what are their rights. And that's why it's so crucial to have a privacy policy written by a lawyer, because this way you don't have to worry about this stuff. Because honestly, how else are you going to know? Unless you're literally sitting there, which I highly doubt that you are, reading up all this information and then trying to make sense of it and then try to compose the legalese. I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for even as a lawyer, right? So I can only imagine if it's not your expertise. So better to just get a template from someone like me or somebody else to just make sure that you're covered. And this way, the good thing about my templates is that if you purchase anything from me, you get free updates. So if tomorrow,
that's really cool.
Another law changes tomorrow, you don't have to worry about it. Like, oh my God, and you're not sitting there scratching your head and trying to purchase a new template. You will get the free updates.
That's really cool. It's a one-time cost.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
a one-time
really nice. With all the subscriptions out there, it's nice to have something that's one time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you go with these other, policies out there, which you don't even know, by the way, who drafted them. But yes, you're right. Like all the subscriptions, you end up paying on a monthly or an annual basis. You don't have any of that.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So what is the best advice you would give to a new business owner or blogger?
So based on my experience, couple of things. First, just make sure that you set your business correctly, like follow all the legalities that you need to with the essential legal pages. But the second thing is that don't try to do it on your own, get help, because you're going to waste a lot of time trying to figure out everything on your own just to save a few bucks here and there. But you're going to prolong the frustration,
Right, yeah.
So seek help, from people like you. You're doing a great service, from people like, people from other people that can help you in different ways. So if my specialty is the legal side of business and blogging, then obviously elicit my help with that, right? Get the templates, get the help, get it done, get it over with. And if your help is, your expertise is something else, then seek your expertise. So what I'm saying is, there are a lot of good people out there helping you. So get a course, get a mentor, get a coach, whatever. Yeah. So instead of trying to figure out and honestly wasting so much valuable time, and speaking from experience, I didn't make that mistake, but I see a lot of people making that mistake.
Right. Yeah. It's true. There's so many people that, I mean, tech is my area and they just get so frustrated with the tech
Yeah.
and are ready to give up. And I'm like, well, this is so easy for me. Like, let me help you. And then you can move on and you don't have to just try and watch a million different YouTube videos hoping that
Yeah.
one is your exact situation because it's not going to be.
Yeah, it's not. And you end up wasting hours and hours and days
So
and weeks,
much time.
so much time. You could be already, published by then or launched
Right.
by then. And instead you were like, oh, it's not worth it, you know?
Yeah. And that's a commodity for moms. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, so there's no time.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, you're such a busy mom, I mean, any mom, it's just very busy.
Any mom,
Yeah.
or if you're working full time like you are, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
a big portion of your day. That's not, there's a lot of people that are, doing their side gig, while they work full time or something like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Okay, this is I'm going all over the place, but what's the best way to get photos for the blog? So a lot of times we want stock photos or just something that identifies even, a photo that might be from another blog, bringing in a product or something like that. What's the best way to get photos? Because it's so easy to search Google and just download it, but
Yeah, no, that's a big no. I know so many clients, some of my clients, they have paid a hefty price for just going on Google and taking any photo. I'm talking
yeah.
like the last client was like $8,000 that she had to pay. So that's a big, big, big copyright violation. And that's a big mistake people make, especially if they don't know that you just can't take any photo.
Yeah.
Because there's something called copyright laws. Any content, any photos, any videos, anything that you create, you have automatic copyright protection. So you can't just take people's photos and you just can't take people's, videos or blog posts, anything without their permission. So even if you find something, the first step is that you need to seek permission, that if you can use that or not. And let's say you're an affiliate marketer and you are part of someone's affiliate program, then read their terms and conditions, the affiliate agreement, to see what's allowed. What can you do with your product images? I mean, in those instances, I'm pretty sure they allow you to use their product images because they want you to promote their product. So that's a different story. But let's say,
Right.
aside from that, like if you're just, but even then you want to first check their terms and conditions to make sure you can, legally use their photos the way they want you to, and you're not violating their policies. But other than that, it's you should not be going on Google and just taking any photo. Trust me, I see it all the time.
Yeah.
Clients get notices, cease and desist letters, they get big fines, and then they get sued, and it's just not it's not worth it. So what you should do is look at royalty-free websites like Pixabay, Unsplash. I'm sure there's so many others, and make sure that they allow you to download photos for free, and read their license. Every time you are on any of these websites, they all have terms and conditions as to what again, goes back to what I was talking about, why a terms and conditions is important, because they all outline what you can do and cannot do with your photos and information on their website. So you want to just, read that and quickly at least look at it to make sure you're not, running into any issues. But there's so many websites out there. Shutterstock is a paid one, deposit photos and things like that. So there's so many websites that allow you to get photos without getting into legal trouble. So go for those options rather than just Googling and downloading anything.
For sure. All right. My last question: what is your favorite blogging tool or course you used to make $1,000 in your first month of blogging? Because that's impressive.
Thank you. So yeah, I started, going back to what I was saying, don't start on your own, get help. So I started with a blogging course, and I actually took Crate & Go's Pro Blogger Bundle. I've written a blog post about it too, and if you want to check it out. But I started my journey with a blogging course because I wanted to see the A to Z of blogging. I knew from the beginning I wanted to be a 6-figure blogger. So how was I going to go from 0 to 100,000 or more? And so that's why learning from someone who's already done it is the way to go, because instead of trying to figure all this stuff on my own, I'm a lawyer, I'm not a blogger, at least I wasn't, right? So I didn't want to figure it out on my own. I invested in a course, and then the tool that really made it happen. So of course the course gave me the strategies and everything I needed to do. And then in my first year, within like few months, I made my first 20K, 20K month. So all of that is on my website if you want to check it out. But then, it's a tool that actually, to answer your question, that made it happen is Kartra. I use Kartra for everything, and it's my all-in-one business platform. I've written a blog post about it as well if you're learning what it can and cannot do, but it literally does everything for me. So I feel like investing in courses and tools and things like that are like essential to grow your business. And that's the only way I was able to achieve the success I did. Last month I made 60,000 from my blog, and it's all because of these resources and investments.
Right.
I mean, I really look at them as investments, because they're going to pay tenfold. You're going to learn so much faster, speed up your progress, and you're helping people, but you're also growing your business at the end of the day. So treat it like a business. And so these are some of the things that I have done. And then of course there's a lot more information on my website. 50 some tools. I use like 50 some tools. I mean, to run my business, it's essential. It's just
there's so many, and that's
so many.
what my membership concentrates on, is like what's the right fit. Because even I've talked with others about to-do lists. There's so many tools for to-do lists, and it depends. Are you more visual? Then maybe Trello is a good option. If you're not, I'm very much a linear, like I like to check things off. And so I have worked with Trello, but it's not my favorite.
It's not my favorite either. Yeah. I don't know. People seem to love it, right? But to be honest, I never got into it. Like I tried it, but no.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, I've used it when other people want to use it, and I used it because it was a good price. It was free. But yeah, I'm much more of a linear list kind of person, and so I have found other to-do lists that are more like that. So
do you like Asana or no?
I've used Asana. The one that I'm using right now, I just started, is called TikTok, I think, which is really cool. What I like about TikTok is that it gives you focus time. And so you can set the amount of time that you want to work on something. And it doesn't lock anything or anything like that, but it just kind of counts that time. And it's kind of like a Pomodoro technique. But I'm really trying to kind of block schedule things and kind of because I could be on the computer all day.
Yeah, I know. Time management is like really key to success. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it is.
We can waste so much time so quickly and so easily.
We do. And with the two boys at home all the time, I just, they go crazy if I'm on the computer all day. So, so really trying to manage time better and be conscious of that. So yeah. Well, thank you so much. This was so informative, and I love it. I'm so excited to share this with my audience and to make sure that everybody's site is legal and compliant, and it's just so important. What other services do you offer? I was on your website, and you do like a legal audit for people.
Yeah, I do. So so what I do is there's 3 different services. The first one is, of course, the legal template. Well, it's not a service, the product. So these are hands-off, do-it-yourself legal templates. I have like a whole legal store. And if you're looking to get, your website pages done in 15 minutes, go check out the testimonials, watch the videos. You'll see on my legal store the package. And if you want more advanced kind of stuff, like additional contracts, like we talked about, freelance coaching, sponsor post contract, affiliate agreements, anything, then you know you have another bundle option. I have discounted bundles, or you can buy individual templates, whatever your preference is. So that's the first thing, right? The templates, they are honestly the most efficient and the cost effective way, because you download, you literally plug in, they're like fill in the blanks. I've made it so easy. You just fill in your info and boom, you're done. You're ready to move on, 15 minutes and you're done. So, because I don't want you to get bogged down on the legal stuff, because that's not the whole point, is to make your life easy. So that's first. The second thing I do is coaching, as I mentioned. Some people have specific questions about their business, like legalizing their business, forming an LLC, just other things that they need help with. They want me to review a contract. They might be negotiating the deal and they want me to review a contract. And so if they need like personalized help, then you can always set up a 30 minutes, an hour, whatever you prefer, a call with me, because I feel like I'm such a people person. Like, it's just so much easier to just hop on, and I'm sure you can see, to just hop on a call and get it. Like, people have told me that those 30 minutes were like the most productive 30 minutes, because we literally just go boom, boom, we answer your questions. It's very productive, and so you have that option. And then the other blog coaching or business coaching is, because of my success, a lot of people have reached out to me wanting to share, my journey with them, help them out, like whether it's creating products, whether it's helping with traffic, whether it's helping with Pinterest or Google, or just any other, questions that they have about making money. Because I did make, in my first year, I made $210,000 while working full-time as a lawyer. This is my side gig. So people have always been curious, and they just wanted to. So like I said, you always want to learn from someone that's already done it, right? The results that you want to get it from someone that's already achieved the results. So and so that's why, if you need like personalized help, I do a lot of coaching. I have clients like around the world, last one was from Mexico. And so, yeah, it's amazing. And I love it, honestly, because like I said, it's a nice, refreshing thing to interact with people than just the same old mundane stuff I do. So yeah, that's that option. And then the second one is blog legal audit. So some people want me to audit their entire website, including, their products and their services, and just give them a complete overview of what they're doing wrong, how to ensure GDPR compliance, what to do, how should their forms look, and things like that. And just in general, their website legal pages, you want me to audit them. And you also get my started legal bundle for free as part of that audit, because I know you're going to need professional legal pages. Because whenever I do this audit, I'm always suggesting change this, add this language. So it's so much easier to just give you my bundle.
I'm by the way here.
So I purposely made it like free as part of this audit, because
that's cool. That's really cool.
It's easier for you. It's easier for me, and then it's just faster. And so you get that as part of it. And a lot of people, especially the ones that are serious about turning their business into, making money and blog and whatever it may be, whatever kind of business, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a blog. So they really love that option. And then the last way is custom contracts. So every single template that you see in my store right now, 16 different ones, but actually I have a lot more, like about 20, but I just haven't put them all in my legal store yet. But I'm constantly adding. So every single template that you see has been requested. It's not something I just created. It's people actually reaching out, multiple people, hundreds of people. Hey, do you have a sponsor post contract? Hey, do you have this? Do you have that? So it's all custom. But, my point is, now there are templates, but I also have the option of, if you need something custom, you just reach out. I'm working with a client right now. Her niche is totally different, and I'm creating a custom contract for her audience, that she's going to put as part of her course to help them out. So it's a one-time fee she pays me, but then, then she becomes an affiliate for it. And then she is also helping her students. And
for sure.
While earning a commission. So it's a great way to, collaborate. And So I'm doing that for her. It's a totally, I know for a fact that none of the people that are my audience are not going to be interested in that, but hers are. So I've created a contract for her. And then I've also created so many other contracts depending on what your industry is. You know, I get people from all different niches. And so they'll be like, oh, I'm working with so-and-so and I want, you know, this and this and how, you know, what do I need? And so we set up a call and then I give you a code and then I draft the contract for you. And so yeah, that's another great way to, you know, like make sure that you're doing things correctly. So any kind of legal documents, any kind of legal contracts, you have that option.
That's really awesome. You offer so much. I'm really excited.
Yeah, and honestly, at really, really affordable prices. I don't charge in my online space. I don't charge you the rate that I charge in my lawyer, you know, like a typical law firm. Like I charge, you know, way more as a lawyer, like working with my clients than I do honestly with my entrepreneur friends because I get it. Like we're all, you know, you're starting your business, you want to keep the cost affordable. So I purposely kept my rates very affordable as compared to like, let's say you were to hire me, then, you know, it's different.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, lawyers are expensive.
Yeah. I mean, if I was to custom write your legal pages, it would cost you like so much more money than to just purchase the bundle and the template. That's why I created the templates so that it would be more affordable, you know? Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Protect your site with Amira's legal bundles. Go to techiemama.com/get/a self-guru. Find me on all social media at Techie Mama and subscribe to YouTube for more videos.